Many years ago, in the hawker center, you will see posters showing you how to eat well, eat less salt, count your calories. But these days, they are telling you where to go and find for the cheapest food. The salt is not added to your food now, it is actually added to your wound. It doesn't matter if you have the best airport in the world. If you ask your citizens to download app to look for where the cheapest food is in the HDB, you have failed.
When things go against Singapore, you must have the spirit of Lee Kuan Yew, the courage, the determination, and not the spirit of fear. What we have seen over the past few days, when Trump decided to impose a 10% tariff on Singapore, our newly minted Prime Minister sent forth a message of fear. You need us, PAP, to see you through. But we look at him, kia kia. The other thing, the fear that they put in us is that if PAP doesn't win, and we don't have enough good caliber people, scholars, super scale officers, to become ministers, to see us through, we will be dead. True? We didn't even have an army to start with. When Goh Meng Seng was appointed to start SAF, and was Goh Meng Seng a military general, a paper general? No! I tell you, Lee Kuan Yew has built very stable institutions to see us through in the event that we have lost all our ministers.
Over the decades, Singapore's total fertility rate has been in steady descent. From the highs of the 1960s to the lows of today, the numbers have continued to fall, just like an aircraft slowly losing altitude. At first, it wasn't alarming. But with this aircraft altitude warning chime ringing loud and clear, the trend was unmistakable. There came 2023. Singapore's total fertility rate has plunged to the historically low at 0.97. Below replacement, below sustainable. A number is so low that the most feared ground proximity warning system is screaming. Now this is no longer about altitude, but whether we will crash and when. There is still one movement to hand the controls to a new pilot, one who can read and trust the instruments, correct the course, so that the plane will be back to the safe skies. So, what actually matters now is that former Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong must be held accountable in GE2025 for his population policy and bad governance. Because if we keep ignoring the storm, sooner or later, we will meet the terrain.
A lot of people online have been smearing us, saying we are PAP Mole Party. Have you read those comments? Because as a small opposition party, we are in active talks with other opposition parties. We negotiate and we communicate with them. Tell me which party says they are going to keep their strategy a secret and do not want other opposition parties to know. Why are we talking so much on them? We have been saddened by the news. That's why. Do you think it works to our advantage to be talking so much against them? You have the answer. We are talking against them and people think we are PAP Mole Party. How funny is that? Ha ha ha, correct. I have been with the party for 1 year plus. I volunteered behind the scenes And then as a candidate, I can tell you, we are trying very hard behind the scenes. Do you know, if given the choice, we would went to Marine Parade. As a politician, I look at the Marine Parade election this time round. Exactly! What election? It's a walkover. Singaporeans analyze the situation. Could other opposition party come in at last minute for Marine Parade? Yes, right? Were we given a chance to?
WP is a woke party. We are not against LGBTQ. We are against the woke culture that is sweeping across the whole world. What is the woke culture? People ask. Most people do not know. Have you heard of DEI? Diversity, Equity and Inclusion. Recently, Edwin Tong said we must push for more DEI. But what is the issue? It is because it will affect our livelihood and our businesses, and it will tear our very social fabric apart. Our social cohesion with all our different race of people living together harmoniously. And that's why, in terms of national policy, in terms of stability, this DEI culture cannot come into Singapore. Once it comes in, it is irreversible. Now, I have a question for Mr. Faizal Manap. Faizal Manap is known to be a very religious person, and he is a fighter for his community. But he also knows that WP is a woke party. Between party interests and the interests of your community, are you able to speak up convictionally in the parliament? Are you able to speak up for your Muslim community when your party's member push for woke culture? For example, Professor James Lim, do you know that he pushed for gender confirmation surgery subsidies? These subsidies means you and I have to subsidize for gender confirmation surgery. Do you agree with that? We are not against gender confirmation, but use your own money, but not use taxpayer money.
I have a dream for Singapore as a young man. I have a dream of a nation led not by fear, but by love. Where the boundaries, where the index, where the measurement of success is not in dollars and cents, but in meaning and fulfillment. Where our young people are able to take ownership of this land, call it their own. Where we are not alienated by our own government and forced to leave. But we will stay here and not just die for our country, but live for our country. That's what we need. An aging population is not just because of a low fertility rate, but many of our young people, they leave. They leave Singapore because they don't have the space to build something that they believe in. This is not the Singapore that I want. I have a dream for Singapore. And it's a dream that we are living in a land where we can be free. Where we can be free to do what we know is right. To build this nation truly.
How can we trust such government? No! We cannot trust a government that do not take accountability of what they do and what they say. Do you agree? I tell you who you can trust. People who have not lied in the parliament. People, party that do not have adulteries. You laugh. Actually, adultery to me is a personal thing, but it shows the character. You cheat on your own spouse. It is a private matter. As long as you are not a minister, it's okay. A backbencher is okay. when you want me to believe that if you cheat your spouse and you can maintain a ministry, it's very, in a clear conscience, it's very difficult. Do you agree? So, who else can you trust right now? No, I can tell you, you can trust these guys. Yes. You know why I trust them? I work with them. They are not perfect human beings, definitely. I'm not a perfect human being. But at the very least, they fought this battle, they start to fight this battle with me, knowing that the chances of winning is actually very slim.